Hello students, today let us see wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Before this lecture, we have seen about the MAP program. In the MAP program, first we have seen about the biosphere. What is meant by biosphere? How biosphere is divided into three parts like core. The first part is called as core part or core zone, after that transition zone, and the first part is called core zone, then the second part is called buffer zone, and last part is called as transition zone. And how man and wildlife conflict is avoided here, and both human beings and wildlife, we can say, both can uh, means sustainable development of both the things can be takes place in biosphere reserves. So the point is that wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, and biosphere reserves, all three comes in situ conservation methods. That's why we are going to see, because one of our in our syllabus there are two types of conservations, basically in situ conservation and ex situ conservation, that we have also seen about uh, about the in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. So let me remind you what is meant by in situ and what is meant by ex situ. For the more detail, you can see the previous video. I'm not repeating all those points here also, but just understood about in situ means on site. In situ conservation, there is the conservation of biodiversity exactly on that side, means that plant life or that animal life which is means exactly on that habitat. Okay, and here in case of ex situ conservation, ex situ means off site, in situ means on site, exact place, exact habitat, and ex situ means off-site, means we have to conserve that biodiversity, uh, means apart from its original habitat. For example, botanical gardens, zoological parks, seed banks, etc. Okay, let's go towards our today's point: wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Okay, wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuary is a naturally occurring sanctuary such as an island that provides protection for species from hunting, predation, or competition. An international organization, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, means IUCN, and its World Commission on Protected Areas has defined wildlife sanctuary as its category 4 type of protected areas. Then the sanctuaries are generally safe havens where the resident animals are given the opportunity to behave as naturally as possible in a protective environment and maintaining each animal until his or her natural death. So you can imagine how the animals feels protected in wildlife sanctuaries. So as I mentioned earlier, you have very much cleared about the biosphere, and in biosphere what happened, um, many more human interference or human, and we can say human activities, human activities are allowed there. For example, fishing, grazing, agricultural activities, education, research. So things, uh, many more things um, many more things are allowed in case of biosphere reserves. Why I'm continuously telling about you biosphere reserves? Because uh, three things comes under in situ conservation. But what happen, most of the time there is a lot of confusion in students mind about the difference between these three things. And the three things also comes in a in situ, means on site of type of conservation. And why they are means why they are having different names. The difference in between only names, or there is other things in between them, so that things can differ, all three things apart, all three things from each other. So let me clear let me let me clear you one thing, that the biosphere reserves is very much big area where sustainable development takes place with the with the help of man. And here, in case of means in biosphere reserves, national parks and wildlife sanctuaries also a part of core zone of that biosphere reserves. And what happened here? Now we are going to see uh, what is the difference between wildlife sanctuary and national parks. Because when you tries to think about the difference in between them, so you could not means you could not come to the exact conclusion about them. So first of all, let us understand, wildlife sanctuaries means it is a natural occurring sanctuary such as an iceland that provide protection for species from hunting, predation, or competition. Okay, let's go towards the Chrome Plus. So, from that, you can easily understand the difference between the both the things, like wildlife sanctuary and national park. Here, okay, let's read it. To the uniformed, there might not be a difference between a wildlife sanctuary and national park, as both serve the same function to protect flora and fauna. Flora means plant life and fauna means animal life. This is a quite true, but there is one main difference that separates the two. Human activities are allowed in a wildlife sanctuary. Okay. So this is the same case as we talked about in biosphere reserves, but human activities not that much allowed. In case of biosphere reserves, it is allowed many more activities. But here, although it is not similar like biosphere reserves, but some kind of human activities are allowed in the wildlife sanctuary to a limited extent, but are illegal. What I am saying, but are illegal in a national park, according to the Indian Ministry of Environment and Forest. So let us understand again. Human activities are allowed in a wildlife sanctuary, and it is totally not only banned, it is illegal in case of national park. So this is the big difference. Okay, so let's understand from this. In Marathi, national parks means Rashtriya Udyan, and wildlife sanctuary means Vanyajeev Abhayaranya. And now let us understand, wildlife sanctuary are specifically meant for protecting or conserving a species of bird or wild animal. The size of national parks in India is more than that of wildlife sanctuaries. Biosphere reserves are much larger area of land that are meant for conserving not one or two species but an entire ecosystem. Wow. Okay, so from these lines you can easily understand the basic difference in between the biosphere reserve and wildlife sanctuary and national park is that biosphere reserve is not only for a particular flora, not only for a particular fauna, neither it is for a single animal or bird species. It is for the conservation of whole ecosystem with the cooperation of human beings. Okay, so sustainable development is the main aim of biosphere reserves, and it is much bigger than the national parks and wildlife sanctuary. So now go towards the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. As we have seen, some activities are allowed in wildlife sanctuaries while it is totally illegal in national parks. And when we talk about the size, then the national park's size is much more bigger in India than the wildlife sanctuary. But the size is not a specific criteria that wildlife sanctuary size should be smaller than the national park and vice versa. But generally in India, the size of national parks is bigger. So now let's go towards the basic difference in between wildlife sanctuary and national parks. Here, in wildlife sanctuary, human activities are allowed. National park, no human activities are allowed. The main aim is to protect a particular flora or fauna. When we are going to when we are going to study about the names or examples of wildlife sanctuary and national parks, then you can easily understand the wildlife sanctuary is specifically for the particular flora or particular fauna, means the conservation of that particular flora or fauna, means it is dedicated for a particular plant or animal species. Okay, national park can include flora, fauna, or any other objects of historical geographic significance. Okay, so national park is not only limited to flora and fauna, it is also include historical geographic significance also. Okay, then there are no fixed boundaries. There are no fixed boundaries of wildlife sanctuary. Here, in case of national park, boundaries are fixed and defined. It is, in case of wildlife sanctuary, it is open to the general public. And in case of national park, not usually open to the public. Means it is not like that, it is not open for public, but not usually. So the word not usually is important because there are some rules and regulations, some restrictions, and some environmental act according to that, and according, as we have discussed, according to IUCN guideline also, in case of national park it is not allowed, means usually it is not allowed for the general public, and in case of wildlife sanctuary it is open to the general public. Then sanctuaries are usually formed by the order of central or the state government. National parks are formed by the state or central legislature. Okay, then here, okay, let us revise again. Sanctuaries are usually formed by the order of central or state government, and national parks are formed by the state or central legislature. So here the difference in between the term government and the legislature. Then a sanctuary can be upgraded to a national park. Means upgraded means here is the, we can say it is like a promotion. A sanctuary can be upgraded to a national park, and then a national park cannot be downgraded, means the demotion of national park will not be possible in any case, but the promotion of wildlife sanctuary to the national park, so we can say national park in the sense is some kind of superior than the wildlife sanctuary. A national park cannot be downgraded to a sanctuary. So these are some basic differences, so you can easily understand now. So you are very much clear about the meaning of wildlife sanctuary and national parks. So in conclusion, these are the major differences between these two. And then okay, further part is not necessary for us, so let's go towards the presentation now. And you know very well, this is the image of black buck. um, okay, we have also seen this one. Then wildlife sanctuaries. India's wildlife is rich and diverse. Almost 4% of India's land is under forests. India has over 442 animal sanctuaries, referred to as wildlife sanctuaries. The wildlife sanctuaries in India are home to around 2,000 different species of birds, 3,500 species of mammals, nearly 30,000 different kinds of insects, and more than 15,000 varieties of plants. These sanctuaries and forest reserves are home to several endangered species of animals and birds like the Asiatic elephant, the Royal Bengal tiger, the snow leopard, and the Siberian crane. Then, national park. An international organization, the International Union for Conservation of Nature. I'm revising this abbreviation as a IUCN. It is an international body, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. It is then an international organization, and its World Commission on Protected Areas has defined national parks as its category second. World Sanctuary, as we have seen, it is in a category 4. Let us see again. Wildlife Sanctuary. It is in a category 4 type by IUCN. Then the national park, it is in category second as a protected areas. The purpose of a national park, the purpose of wildlife sanctuaries, and purpose of biosphere reserves is the same, that is conservation of biodiversity. And one or several and three of comes in a in-situ conservation. Why I'm repeating these sentences again and again? Because students generally confuse in between them, and they generally put biosphere reserves as ex-situ conservation because they thought uh, the involvement of human beings, a lot of involvement of human beings in a transition and buffer in transition zone, and some of the involvement in the buffer zone. So they may confused about the biosphere reserves, or they may confused about the. But let us understand whatever the whatever the conservation can be done. So in case of national park, in case of wildlife sanctuary, and in case of biosphere reserves, it is the without the disturbing the natural habitat. Okay, so on the exact location, the conservation can be done, and hence when the conservation is done on exact habitat of that particular flora and fauna, then that type of conservation is called as in situ conservation. In situ means on site. Okay, I'm not repeating too much. Then one or several ecosystem not materially altered by human exploitation and occupation, where plant and animal species, geomorphological sites, and habitats are of special scientific, educational, and recreational interest, or which contain a natural landscape of great beauty. According to the IUCN, there were 6,555 national parks worldwide in 2006 that meets its criteria. Then a national park is a park in use for conservation purpose. Often it is a reserve of natural, semi-natural or developed land that a country declares or owns. Although individual nations designate their own national parks differently, there is a common idea: the conservation of wild nature for posterity and a symbol of national pride. National parks are almost always open to visitors. Most national parks provide outdoor recreation and camping opportunities as well as classes designed to educate the public on the importance to educate the public on the importance of conservation and the natural wonders of the land in which the national park is located. Then the national park in India helps us to know the unknown treasure of wildlife hidden in the sanctuaries all around India. India's first national park was Jim Corbett National Park, established in 1936. So this is one of the what we can say uh, confusing question will be prove a confusing question most of the time because before Jim Corbett before the name Jim Corbett it is called by some means its previous name or original name was different. After that, Jim Corbett National Park name was given to that national park in the honor of Jim Corbett. So just go towards again to the browser so that we can uh, little understand about the Jim Corbett National Park. Here, okay, go towards the okay, just Jim Corbett National Parks. Okay, so it is in Uttarakhand, and I want to tell you the original name or not original, the old name of Jim Corbett National Park. This is the website of Jim Corbett National Park. Jim Corbett National Park, which is a part of the larger Corbett Tiger Reserves, a project tiger reserves, lies in the National District of Uttarakhand. So the question may be asked to you that many of the times the question will come where is the Jim Corbett National Park? So it is in Uttarakhand, and the project tiger reserves lies in this park, and the magical landscape of Corbett is well known and the fables for its tiger richness, established in the year 1936 as Halley National Park. Okay, this is the authentic site of Corbett National Park. You can easily see here, and you can check by yourself also. Established when it is established, it is established in the year 1936. 1936 as Halley National Park. The old name was Halley National Park. Corbett has the glory of being India's oldest and the most prestigious national park. It is also being honored as the place where Project Tiger was first launched in 1973. This unique tiger territory is best known as the father who gave birth of the project, who gave birth of the Project Tiger in India to protect most endangered species and the Royal of India called tigers. So the as you know very well, why the name Jim Corbett is given to this park, because in the honorary of Jim Corbett, the name Corbett National Park or Jim Corbett National Park uh, has given to this national park. It is for Project Tiger. The first Project Tiger was launched in Jim Corbett National Park, and its old name was Halle National Park. I think this information is enough for you. If you want to know furthermore, then you can go um, at the website and try to know some more things about this. Then, okay, let's go towards our presentation. There are more than 166 authorized national parks in India till date. The forest and wildlife sanctuary areas, which fall on the borders of states, are protected for security reasons. There are five major national parks which can help you to get closer encounter of any kind of wildlife. Okay, here is the Corbett National Park. So I have given some information about the national parks and sanctuaries, wildlife sanctuaries. So you can easily understand about them. Jim Corbett National Park. It is in Uttarakhand. India is one of the first and well-known national park of for tigers. So the question may be asked, what is the uh, um, first national park, or what was the first national park in India? Then the answer is Jim Corbett National Park. The park had a large area which is divided into five zones. First zone, Jirna, is open to public all around the year, and other zones are closed during monsoon. The elephant safaris inside the park are excited and gives a close and safe trip inside the dense forest. The Dikala zone is best spots to enjoy wildlife. Then Kanha National Park. So I'm just going fast because each and everything is not possible to elaborate. The video may be get so big, and I want you have to go through all these things by yourself. And okay, so Kanha National Park, it is in Madhya Pradesh. It's a dense and rich area of bamboo forest. It is for the preservation or conservation, we can say, endangered species like white tiger, hippopotamus. Then the park has significant population of Royal Bengal tiger, leopard, the sloth bear, the Barasinga, and Indian wild dog. Then Bandhavgarh National Park. It is in Madhya Pradesh. In MCQ, it's common question, which park in which place, or for example, Madhya Pradesh is famous for dash dash park. Then the answer will be Bandhavgarh National Park, or Bandhavgarh National Parks is situated in dash dash. Then four options: Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka will be given here. So you have to recognize the correct answer there. So okay, Bandhavgarh National Park. It is in Madhya Pradesh. It is also for tiger, leopard, and deer also present here. Next, Ranthambore National Park. It is in Rajasthan, as its name itself indicates. It should be in Rajasthan. Then next, huge number of tigers here also. Then okay, then Sundarban National Park. It is in West Bengal, and as we have seen, Sundarban Biosphere Reserve is also uh, so. So Sundarban National Parks comes in a core zone of that biosphere reserves. Then location is West Bengal. Then Okay. For what? Bengal tiger. It is for also for a Bengal tiger. Okay. Less migrating birds also we can see there. Then Kaziranga National Park. It is in Assam, uh, a World Heritage Site. The park hosts two-thirds of the world's great one-horned rhinoceros. So, Kaziranga is for the conservation of rhinoceros, and the previous whatever national parks we have seen, they probably the tiger reserves are the number of tigers are large there, and here in case of Kaziranga National Park, which is in Assam, it is famous for one-horned rhinoceros. Then other is elephant, wild water buffalo, and swamp deer is also present. Then Gir Forest National Park, it is in Gujarat, and as you can see, it is for the conservation of lion. Then it is the sole home of the Asiatic lions and is considered to be one of the most important protected areas in Asia due to its supported species. Then Valmiki National Park, it is in Bihar. Valmiki Tiger Reserves is one of the natural virgin recesses in East India. Rhinoceros, black bear, leopard, wild dog, wild buffalo, wild boar. These are some animals we can see here. Bandipur National Park, it is in Karnataka, and a potential new UNESCO World Heritage Site. And apart from tigers, the park features leopard, elephant, sloth bear, wild boars, and wild dogs. And a vital tiger preservation area lies with the state of Karnataka. It is also for the tiger. Then Blackbuck National Park, as its name itself indicates, it is for the conservation of blackbuck. It is situated 72 km from the district headquarters city of Bhavnagar. It was primarily grassland of the Maharaja of the princely state of Bhavnagar. Flatland, dry grasses, and herds of antelopes have always attracted visitors to this park, which has a unique grassland ecosystem. Today, the largest population of blackbuck, wolf, and lesser floricans, a bustard that we also called in Marathi as a mad pakshi, has been sustained in this park. Then Betla National Park, it is in Jharkhand, one of the first national parks in India to become a tiger reserve under Project Tiger. Then inside the park, there are waterfalls and hot springs, tiger, sloth bear, and other animals we can see here. Okay, now go towards wildlife sanctuaries. A wildlife refuge, also called a wildlife sanctuary, is a naturally occurring sanctuary, such as an island that provides protection for species from hunting, predation, or competition. It is a protected area, a geographic territory within which wildlife is protected. Wildlife refuges are generally officially designed territories. It is created by government legislation, publicly or privately owned. Chernobyl nuclear accident site has accidentally become a wildlife refuge. It preserves the animals that are endangered or about to be extinct. Okay, here are some examples of wildlife sanctuaries. That is Chikhaldara Wildlife Sanctuary, then Vibhuti Bhushan Wildlife Sanctuary, then Chinar Wildlife Sanctuary, Grizzled Squirrel Sanctuary, Idukki Wildlife Sanctuary, Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, and Sariska Wildlife Sanctuary, and another one is for the elephant. Okay, the bioreserves start here. Okay, let's escape from the presentation and go towards the room so we can understand more about the examples of wildlife sanctuaries. Okay, Periyar wildlife here because of the Google. Uh, okay, Periyar wildlife sanctuary in Kerala. Then Sundar here here again the Periyar. Okay, okay. Let's see what is the speciality of Periyar wildlife sanctuary, which is situated in the Kerala. Then okay, Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. So in our Maharashtra, there is one bird sanctuary is famous, and as we have seen the characteristic of wildlife sanctuary, which boundaries are not decided. So the well known and well popular conflict we can see in Maharashtra about that great Indian bustard, that is Maldo Pakshi, and it is means the the bird species will become means it is in a threat due to its hunting. Okay, Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, that is Kevala Devi National Park. It is there. No, no, we are going to see Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Okay, okay. Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, also known as the Kevala Devi National Park. Okay, let's see about the Periyar National Park. Or amongst one of the finest bird sanctuary on the planet. Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, also called as Keola Devi Ghana National Park, is a sanctuary that offers security to faunal species also. Keola Devi, the name gets from an old Hindu temple which is dedicated to Lord Shiva and remains at the focal point of the national park. Ghana implies thick, alluding to the thick woods which used to cover the region. Okay, and okay, just we have to see the about for the particular for which migratory bird it is famous for. Uh, okay, it is famous for the uh, in general birds. Okay, let's me see. Okay. 350 species of migratory birds and resident birds. This sanctuary is not representing to a particular bird species, but it is for the migratory birds, including herons, cormorants, and eagles. Okay, let's see. So, Periyar National Parks or Periyar, we can say Periyar National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary, both the things are present here, is a protected area located in the district of Idukki and uh, Idukki and Pathanamthiya. Okay, it's a Kerala name. In Kerala, India, it is notable as an elephant reserve and a tiger reserve. The protected area encompasses 925 square kilometer. Okay. Then Periyar Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary, Bharatpur is for bird sanctuary, and then Chilka Lake Bird Sanctuary. It is in Odisha. Then Chinnar Wildlife Sanctuary. It is also in Kerala, and Gir National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary also present here. So you can give examples about wildlife sanctuaries also. So this is all about the in situ conservation, as we have previously seen in the lecture of in situ and ex situ conservation also. But in this and we have also seen about the biosphere reserves, which is also a type of in situ conservation. And including that in this lecture I have well elaborated about the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, how the what is the what we can say role of national parks and wildlife sanctuary in case of conservation, and the examples of wildlife sanctuaries and national parks, which are really very important in your exam point of view. Okay, thank you.